welcome, it's Brendel, and today we are going to be going over a paycheck breakdown for the March budget. This is kind of an extension of our March budget, and usually I have it at the end of that video, but I didn't. I kind of wanted to give it its own video this month and go over it with a little more detail. So to start off, we're going to list the same information that's on our budget, which if you didn't watch the other video, it's going to be this one. So I'm not going to go over too much detail on it. I will obviously list the numbers, but we won't really go over the breakdown of these numbers. You can go back and watch that video if you'd like. So up top, we are going to have income. And then the next line we're going to have here is holdover. And I will go over that a little bit later. And then we'll list out our fixed expenses, which we have as mortgage, phone, sewer and garbage, life insurance, internet, Netflix, and Hulu. And then for variable expenses, we are going to have our sinking funds, and then we're actually going to break out 3 of those categories, one being electric, the next being home extras, and gas. Then the other 2 variable expenses we have are groceries and a restaurant. And then we have savings listed here at the bottom. So I'm going to fill in this budget column here. So we expect for the whole month $3,200 in income. Our mortgage is $1,181. Phone is $137, sewer and garbage is $77, life insurance is $38, internet is $30, Netflix we are budgeting $10, Hulu is $1. So for our sinking funds, we are taking $11.01 from our budget, and then for groceries we are taking $5.50 and then $75 for a restaurant. And we do have a vacation in March, and so we're taking any of our extras and we put it in our sinking funds for now in our vacation category. So there is nothing left for savings this month, but hopefully that will change. I designed this kit myself, and I did make a mistake. I was creating it in February, and so I did the 1st to the 15th, which is the first half of the month. And then the second half is the 16th through the 28th, but obviously March has 31 days, so that should say 31, but it's not a big deal for me. Just a little oopsie when I was creating these. So we get paid bi-monthly, so we get paid on the, let me flip to the calendar, on the day before the 1st, so that last day of the month, Matt gets paid, and we use that for the first half of the month, and then he gets paid on the 15th, and we use that for the second half of the month's bills. And on here, you can see that obviously I listed the paydays, and then I also list our bills. So we have electric, life insurance, Netflix, sewer and garbage, Hulu, mortgage, phone, and internet. So all of our fixed expenses, and then our electric, which is in our sinking funds as a variable expense because it changes. So since his paychecks are bi-monthly, we split that income for the month in 2, just in 2. So we have these 2 columns, and each will get $1,600. And then next we will go through and decide which paychecks will pay for what bills. And a lot of that has to do with when they are due. So first we'll take mortgage. And that isn't due until the end of the month. We actually pay April's with March's income, and we do that with a few of these bills. For mortgage, it is at the end, but we this month are splitting it, and so we're going to take roughly half because I like whole dollars. So the first half of the month we're going to save $590 to go towards mortgage, and in the second half we are going to have to save $591 from that paycheck. And if your loan is calculated with a daily interest rate, then it could be beneficial to pay that as soon as we can and just split your payments in two. Our interest rate is calculated monthly, so even if we pay it early or in the month, it doesn't save us any of the interest. So we just save it and then make one payment at the end of the month. Now for phone bill, we'll look at the calendar view, and that is at the end of the month. So we are going to put it in this second column. And then for sewer and garbage, that is on the 18th. And this is when it's due. So I like to pay it early. I don't like to wait until payday and then try to process it through bill pay and hope it gets there in time. So I'm going to actually put it in the first half so that we can pay it as soon as we get the bill, which we'll probably get the bill in that first week. So for sewer and garbage, we are going to put it in the first half. Now, as you go through your bills and decide which paychecks to pay them with based on when they're due, this may take some calculations. So I always use an Excel spreadsheet to kind of figure out the exact amounts, because you obviously don't want to put too much in the first half and then not have enough money for everyday expenses. So just kind of play with it and see where your expenses are due and where they can fit between these two paychecks. Or if you have more, you could have more columns to help figure out which paychecks are your light bills and which ones are your more heavy bills. Theoretically, mortgage would be on the second half, and so that would take a big chunk of our income, and so we can split it up also. If we look at life insurance, that is due on the 15th. It does automatically come out, but we're going to put it in the first half just so the money is ready in case they take it a little bit early. It's not a big deal. Then we have internet. That's at the end of the month, so we'll put that in the second half. Next we have Netflix. That's on the 16th. And again, we're going to put it on that first half just so it's there and ready. And then last we have Hulu, which is around the 24th. Then we will take our fixed expenses and add them up to see how much from the first check we are allocating towards fixed expenses. We have $715. And then for the second half, we have $759. Now, for the first half, these categories again are in our sinking funds, and we're going to pull some of these out. So electric is due in the first half, and it was $79. And so we're going to put that in the first half. And so we're going to pull that, almost earmark it in our checking account so that it's ready for that bill to come out. It will come from this sinking funds total amount. And then for home extras, our Nest account was supposed to come out in February, and it didn't. They charged our old card, and I'm waiting for it to reject it. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens, and I might have to call them about that, but I'm gonna have that money earmarked for the first half just in case it comes through. And then for gas, we allocated $200 from our March budget to go towards sinking funds. And so in the first half, we're gonna take that out just so it's ready. Matt has a Dodge Ram truck, and so its gas tank takes a lot. So we just kind of like to have that money ready and available. And if we need to pull from the rollover of our sinking funds gas account from the previous months, then we can. But for the first half, we'd like to just pull that $200 off the get-go. Next, we have groceries. And I kind of go back and forth on pulling the full amount in the beginning of the half or splitting it 50-50. So we're going to split it 50-50 this month. So we'll do $275 and $275. We do a Costco run in the beginning of the month, and that's why we like to usually take the full amount and pull it the first half of the month, but I'm just kind of playing with numbers this time. Next we have restaurant, which we are going to pull in the first half just so we have it and ready. We do use our credit cards for a lot of it, but we like to make sure that our checking account has it to pay for it, and so we're not overextending ourselves. Then we are going to add up our variable expenses for the first half, which is $679. And then you might be wondering, well, what about the rest of the sinking funds amount? So what we're going to do is we're going to take that amount and then subtract out these 3 categories that are from the sinking funds amount. And then that remaining balance we will pull in the second half, usually at the end of the month. So this 1101 minus 79 minus 50 minus 200 equals 772. And then for the second half, our variable expenses are 772 and 275, which add up to $1,047. And again, there's no savings, so that's that. And then the other thing, this holdover amount. So if you take the income for that first half, that's $1,600 on the payday that we get at practically the beginning of the month. That's $1,600 minus the fixed expenses of $715 minus the variable expenses of $679 is going to give you a balance of $206. And this amount is going to be our holdover amount. So we're not going to be like, ooh, we have extra money in the beginning half of the month, let's go wild. No, we have already decided on our budget where all of this money is going to be. So it's not free money unless we're getting more income. But if we get $1,600 like we're supposed to, that 206 has already been allocated. And so we're going to hold that over and again just kind of earmark it in our checking account to the second half of the month. So that's when it's going to move over here to this holdover amount. And then if you take our income plus this 206, which equals 1806, and you subtract out 759 for the fixed expenses and then 1047 for the variable expenses, they will balance out. So you will have $0 remaining, which means you have allocated or spent or told your money where it needs to go. And that's my biggest thing about budgeting is knowing and telling your money where it's supposed to go. My budget might not fit yours. It doesn't matter. It just matters that you know where your money is going and you are okay with where it's going. So for example, I budget $100 for beauty because that's important to me. It's important to me to get my eyebrows done, and I like putting makeup on and getting my hair done maybe once a year. I have pretty basic straight hair. I don't color it. I don't do anything fancy. But like my nails are important. It's what's important to you. You may spend more on entertainment. You may save more for vacation or whatever is going on in your life. As long as you are satisfied and happy with where your money is going. And I think it's just very empowering to take a look at your finances, and let me know if you have any questions about this paycheck breakdown. If you want to leave me questions in the comments, I am more than happy to answer you. I also have an Instagram. It's Brendel. And you can always hit me up in the DMs over there if you have questions. I appreciate you for watching and hope you have a great day. Bye!